Hi there, I'm Roxane Webster,
Hey, and I'm Keith Alba.
and we are the owners and partners of My Home Team at Keller Williams. And what is this, Keith?
This is our video blog that we like to call The
The
Honest Hour.
Honest Hour. This is a no-spin environment where we give you some straight scoop. Of course, I can't help myself.
This is the only spin that we allow in The Honest Hour. But yeah, absolutely. This is our opportunity to kind of give you our thoughts, what we're seeing in the Denver real estate market, or things kind of affecting the real estate industry in general. So what's on our agenda for today, Rox? What are we talking about?
I wanted to talk a little bit about flips, right? Particularly from the buyer's perspective. I want to kind of, pardon?
I was just going to say, let's give a quick definition of what a flip is.
That's right. Keith?
So a flip is essentially somebody that buys the house not as a primary residence. There's no intention of moving in. Their intention is to go in, pump some capital into it, fix it up, and then turn around and sell it. Ideally, in a short amount of time. The quicker that can be done, the less costs that they have, like carry costs and payments and things along those lines. And then the quicker they can get their capital back out and invest it into the next one. So they try to move quick in a lot of cases, just again to make sure, because it's a business model, right? Their goal is to sell the property for more than their acquisition costs plus their carry costs plus the remodel,
plus the profit margin.
Yeah, and sell it for more. So that's the problem.
Yeah. So, often, just to give you an idea, to throw numbers into that, let's say you were able to buy a house for $400,000, put $75,000 into it. So now you bought it for $400,000, you've got $75,000 into it, and you're able to sell it for $575,000. By the time you're done with, paying for cost of selling the thing, you might make $75,000, right? And you might have spent 3 or 4 months on that remodel. That's what a flipper wants to do, right?
Right.
And I think that sometimes flips, I remember, I don't know, 15 years ago, before the prices got so high, right? And we also saw this during the Great Recession, right? So the properties were people were able to scoop them up for rock bottom prices. And I'm not even talking about the price themselves. I'm talking about below the market, what the market would bear, right? So if somebody could walk into a house that was in kind of rough condition, scoop it up for 25% below the market value for that thing, and then go in and fix it, it was a very profitable business. But even then, I saw flips that fell into one of two categories, right? They were either just lipstick on the pig, right? Somebody goes in there and slaps a layer of paint and some carpet and some mid-grade cabinets, and called it good and would put it back on the market. But there were several that if I even saw the listing agent's name in a listing that was a flip, I knew exactly what I was getting at, right? Because they made their money where they trimmed the margins to increase that profit margin, was that they did this as a business. They had high quality, fast trades who knew what they were doing. They would buy their materials, quality materials, at liquidation sales and in volume, right? So they might buy 10 houses worth of cabinets all at once, 10 houses worth of tile all at once at pennies on the dollar. So they were making up for the needs for the profit margin by really running their business tightly and smartly, and that would create a profit margin for them. What we're seeing now is I'm seeing a lot of absolute garbage on the market. And I think the culprit is that they have been overpaying for the houses themselves. And then when they go to cut the margins, where they're cutting the margins are in mechanicals and in quality of work, right? So you might get into a house. Yeah.
They're It's like anything, you're going to have your good ones, you're going to have your bad ones, and then I think you're right, Rox. They're cutting some corners here and there, and putting, instead of the liquidation sales that's quality materials, they're going for the cheap stuff that's just kind of garbage. It looks good, but it's not going to last for a long period of time, right? And they can pay pennies on the dollar, and they don't really care, right? As soon as they sell the house, it's no longer their problem. Something fails and there's an issue down the road. But so I think it's partially kind of what you're talking about, but then I think it's also, what I'll call the infomercials, right? Hey, look at how much money you can make by adopting this real estate business model, and you just go in and flip them and do this and do that, and you too can be an investor, kind of a thing, right? Those guys that are selling the courses are making money off of people who are interested in getting into it, but they're not really giving them a lot of information or the quality, not coming alongside them to help them through their first couple of flips.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so
It's like how many people jumped into short-term rentals without being investors at all, and they didn't
Right.
know how to run the numbers. We've seen a lot of people lose a lot of money on that business model because they didn't understand it and weren't skilled.
Yeah. But this is not to say that all flippers are bad either, right? I would say,
Right.
it's very similar in my mind to new construction, right? So you've got the quality builders that you're going to get a great product across the country or across the state, regardless of who's there. You got your mid-grade builders that, yeah, you know what, it's going to be dependent on the superintendent that's running the site. Does he have a lot of the respect of the trades that are there? Is he getting the best trades that they can? In that case, that community is going to deliver a great product, where another community across town may not have the same quality of a superintendent, and it's going to affect the quality of the delivery. Then you got your basement dweller builders that, are similar to the flippers that you're talking about, that, it's just going to be problematic all the way around. So it is.
To say too that I think, I mean, in any business that you're in, there's going to be some people who just cut corners and are unethical, and that goes for our industry, that goes for lenders, that goes for any business, right? I think that what we're seeing more than anything else is a lack of skill, right? And I think that this is compounded when you have an agent who doesn't have the skill to apply a critical eye to a house on behalf of a buyer. Right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, I look at how does this impact the buyers, and the buyers, they get all excited by pictures of a pretty house, and they walk in and the finishes look good. We got to kick the tires a little harder on a flip, and that requires having an agent with an experienced eye with you.
Yeah, I would say, and especially if you get a seller's property disclosure that's blank, right? Or they refuse to provide one, saying, "Hey, we never lived in the house." Okay, I get that you never lived. Yeah, I get it that you never lived in the house, but you had your arms all up inside this building, in this house while you were doing your remodel and your flips. You didn't learn anything then?
Shut up. Right.
Really? I don't know. It seems a little suspect. So yeah, if you going into a property, I agree with Roxanne. Make sure you got quality representation, somebody that can help you identify some stuff, or at least refer you to experts that can come in and really get behind the scenes, get behind that makeup and that lipstick that we started talking about at first, and check out the bones of the building, right? The things that are going to last. And then, yeah, just go into it with the suspect eye, I think. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Trust but verify.
That's what we have for today. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button. It really helps the algorithms if you do the notification bell so you can hear every time we've got something fantastic.
All of our brilliance come across. You don't want to miss one.
Brilliance and modesty. That's right. And share it with people, like it. You know the routine. And thank you for checking in.
See you next time.